I saw so many people reading my favorite books. It made me so happy.
Oh, there's lots of people already.
Yeah, let's get it going.
It says we're live.
Yeah, always the awkward pause. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mafia Romance Weekend Readathon live show. We're so happy you participated. We have almost 50 people who entered for prizes. Yes, it did close at 6 p.m. Central Time. I'm sorry to anyone who missed out, but we want to do the prize drawings live with you guys, so I had to close it. I am sorry, but also it'll be more fun this way. So anyway, wow, everyone's hopping in. I'm so excited. Love for the Mafia. Okay, let's be careful. Love for Mafia books. But I know what you mean, Bonnie. I know what you mean. Oh, that's Jess. We know she says hi. Stacy, happy Mafia. All right. I'm already scared now. If a strange Mafia assassin shows up in my apartment tonight, I'm going to let him in, just so you know. Just kidding. I don't think there's any Mafia in Fargo, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
Mafia on the run.
That's true. That's true. I mean, one of the things about, and sorry, I'm sidetracking before we've even said hello. Let's stop and say hello to everyone before I go down this track. I've already started drinking, y'all, so that's what's happening. It's fine. You're on my channel. You know who I am. Let's go this way. Say hello.
Okay. I am Tori. I'm from Novel Life on YouTube, or Live a Novel Life on Instagram. Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed this weekend. I love Mafia Romance, and it was fantastic. I loved it. Every second of it.
I wish it was longer, but it's fine. Maybe
that
way.
Right.
I'm Jessica for Peace Love Books. In my dark romance sweatshirt.
Woohoo!
Oh, what a perfect sweatshirt. Hi, I'm Jessin from Jessin Reads Romance on YouTube and Smart Women Read Romance on Instagram. And Jen's the whole reason why I started reading Mafia this year. It's totally her fault.
It's her influence. I'm Tiffany from Neverland Pixie on Instagram. And I had so much fun this weekend. My favorite part was seeing what everybody was reading and like getting new recs for my TBR. So thank you. I had fun.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So as I've like said in like my video and stuff, I was really excited for us to do something like this because last year I had something called the Light versus Dark Readathon. And really what I loved about that was coming up with the prompts for the dark side. I dressed up like Dark Ray and did a really sketchy video back when I had only like, I had like 1,100 subscribers back then. And it was super fun. And then when this year came around for Star Wars Day, I just had too much going on. I had 2 of my friends get married within 3 weeks and I had too much going on. And then I was on Tori's podcast and she was like, you really should do it. When I mentioned being interested, and I was like, no, maybe, I don't know. And then the next day at work, I was like, Tori, I'm going to do it. Do you want to do it too? And then I messaged all these wonderful ladies and I was like, we're going to do it. So let's make it happen. And it was so much fun putting it together. And thank you all for doing it with me, and for everyone who, look, there's some people who they've just started Mafia because of this. That is so cool. I read my first Mafia this weekend. I mean, I don't know if I should say congratulations, but congratulations.
Welcome.
Yes, Crystal. I'm so excited to see your vlog, Crystal, because I'm so proud of myself that I've taken you to another level of corruption by getting you into the Mafia. I'm just working my way through everyone. It's wonderful. Lots of influence. I love this. Hitting all the prompts. This was cool. So, I mean, yeah, I could yak the entire time. I have some pre-prescribed questions so that I stay on track with this. I'll try to keep to a time and we'll do the prizes around like 7:45 and then we'll talk for a little bit after that. But that's when I'm planning to do the prizes. Do that 7:45, just so everybody knows. But let's start with what everyone's favorite read of the Readathon was that they read. So, Stephanie's pulling Just go for
I
it.
guess I'll go first. So mine was definitely When Heroes Fall by Jenn Darling. I still have Ruthless Stranger to read. I have like an hour and a half left of the audiobook. That one's pretty up there, but because I haven't finished it, I can't necessarily say it's my favorite. Ruthless Stranger, When Heroes Fall. That one, like, oh man, it's been a while since I read a Mafia romance that hit like all the boxes that I really love about Mafia romance, and that one literally hit everything. Like 5-star, one of my favorites so far of the year. Like it's definitely going on my list. And I'm like looking up that box that Jenn Darling has that you can pre-order or something June 9th. I'm like, do I get that? Should I get it? I don't know. Like I'm obsessed. Like I haven't read anything by her, and I'm obsessed.
There's only 200. There's only 200 of them.
They're gonna go so fast.
I know. I'm in her group. I have my timer set, and I'm just gonna hope that I get it fast enough. But I didn't read that one for the readathon because I got gun shy and read it early. But oh man, that one was great.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, mine. Yeah.
Is that
Creatures? I can't wait for the second. I cannot wait for the second. Ruthless Creatures are so good, and it's out on audio now, so I've got to experience that. That was a ride.
I love that everyone's saying this. I'm just gonna hold this up while y'all keep saying it. My beautiful man. One of you's gonna win this tonight, and it has Maggie's signature on it. Just saying. He's beautiful. He's beautiful. Sorry.
Jen, what did you hear about Maggie Cole?
Yeah, her PR reached out to me. I was just telling people this, but yeah, one of her PAs, whose name is Kaylee, she was reaching out to me and was going to send me the book, and I was like, I'm not at a place where I'm just taking books willy-nilly right now because I got a TBR. So I was like, it's on KU. Let me read it first myself so you haven't sent me something that I feel obligated to. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I got a lot of books to read, and when people send me them, sometimes they just go to the bottom of the stack and they never happen. And I was halfway through this book and I was like, give me everything. So I read the first 2 on my own. Like I got them on Kindle, and the first 3 are actually out on audiobook in KU. And then she's just started sending me the arcs, just like straight to my veins. So I've read through book 7 in the series, and only the first 3 are out. So sorry to just like blow that out, but they're coming out one a month until the end of the year, basically. So you don't have to wait too long. Like they're all coming, but they're so good, guys. Like I'm not overstating it. Like I haven't seen anyone rate it less than 4 who read it. So that makes me feel that I got a good recommendation going. But Justin, what was your favorite one?
Well, my favorite was Filthy Hot by Serena Ackroyd. I love the O'Donnelly men. It was just so good. And Aiden was like the wounded hero. He's been wounded since the first book in the series, and he finally gets his book. And I was just like, I was hurting for him so bad because he's been addicted. He's detoxing. And then finally his heroine comes in and he has like a reason to not focus on the pain anymore. And I just love their love story. It was just so beautiful. And of course, like there's always crazy things going on in the family because the family's a little bit crazy, and I love all that drama. So that was my favorite, but I rated that one 5 stars, but I had like 3 4.5 stars too. So this was like a great readathon for me.
Yeah, you had some good ones. Yeah, yep, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna talk about them all year long. It's gonna happen. Like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's the takeover all over again, you guys. I talked about it for 4 months before it came out, and then for a year afterwards. It's not quite the takeover, but it's pretty good. I need to refill these sets. Yes.
Sophie Lark. Snow is good.
That's
Tiffany,
on my list to read this week.
Oh God, she's just like Jenn. It's her influence. She just got me completely hooked and obsessed. And you know, she's right, because Sophie Lark has such unique stories, and I cannot get enough. They are all different, and I'm just like, oh, give me more. I'm almost through her backlist, but I love them. And in the Underworld series that I'm reading now, where like Ivan and Snow is in, someone was commenting about that.
I love Ivan.
Yeah, God, Ivan and Sloane, I stan.
I love it. She tried to kill him. She snuck into his room. She's an assassin. She's a hitman. And she tried to kill him. And he's like, let me torture you. But does he really torture her? No. He like gives her pleasure. And it's just great. It's so great. I love it.
And she's like, this isn't going to get me to say anything.
That's the kind of sexual torture I can get behind.
And I know. I was like, sign me up. What are you talking about? Torture?
It wasn't even like it wasn't even like the hard kind of torture. It was like, I'm trying, but I'm not really trying.
It was
like
for
positive
him.
reinforcement's better. Positive reinforcement's better.
So good. But that's what I'm saying is like, her stories are also so unique. So if there is one that's a lower star for you, she's not going to repeat that story again. So you can just go on to the next one and expect a completely new journey like that. And I think that's so unique because there are some when you're reading a long Mafia series that all of them are arranged marriage. So there's the same beats in them. Or all of them are captive. So there's the same
like Cora Riley.
Right. And they're still good, but when you are binging a bunch of those in a row, you can get a little burned out because it's the same thing over and over again. Whereas if you'd read those books when they were coming out, it wouldn't have been the same. Whereas like Sophie Lark, I had no problem. And the same with Maggie Cole. And, you know, when you're binging the whole thing, each one was a different thing. So I didn't feel bored by anything. So I love it.
And they're so sexy. Okay. They're sexy. She brings it. I was very happy. Yeah.
I love it.
I also read Crow by A. Zavarelli, and I know, Tori, you read book 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was so good. I loved it so much. It was definitely the touch her and you die because, like, at one point she got kidnapped, and then he like, did he touch you? Yes, I'm gonna kill him. Did he touch you? And I was just like, this is so good.
Oh my God.
I'm dying for the next books now, 2 and 3.
And the heroine was so good in that one too. Sorry, we're like all talking.
No, we're all really excited.
I love the heroine in Crow because she was like so badass. I loved her, and I love Reaper. I think I haven't read them in a while, but I'm pretty sure I rated Reaper higher than Crow, but I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I didn't like Reaper as much as I liked Crow, which was kind of like disappointing. I know. I don't know why, but I was sitting there reading it and I just felt like, to be like 100% honest, I knew where she was going with the storyline. Like you could tell that what she was trying to get to with like their past and everything, but I felt like the execution like fell just like a little short for me. And I was like, eh. Plus that book has something that I don't particularly like that comes up at the end. Yeah, so that one I didn't know, and I was like, oh, man. I mean, I get it. The story was, like, still great. I'm still going to continue with the series. I love the, like, world. I love seeing Mac and Crow again. So good.
Book 3 is Alexi, right? Is that how you say his name?
I don't know what book 3 is, actually.
It's the hacker and Tao.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's book 3.
Which I'm really excited for.
Is it Irish Mafia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in Boston. I think it's like Boston Underground or Underworld or something.
Underworld, yeah. Boston Underworld.
Yeah.
Ivan is Sophie Lark. Dramia. I can't pronounce that, but I know what fandom you're going for. I just can't pronounce the word. And that's by Sophie Lark. Ivan is the first book in that. The person who when the deep dive is coming, it is coming soon. Sophie Lark has the 3 series, and then she has 3 standalone books. One of them is a retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo, which this bitch is going to be reading soon. And then there's one called Starlit, and then there's one other one that's one of hers. So when I finish those, you will get your deep dive Sophie Lark. I'm going to try to do it before the live show, but we'll see. I have a lot of things happening.
What matters? I was just trying to look at it. What she just said. Ivan's not physical paperback. Is that whole series not physical?
It might not be.
Okay. I was just looking on to see how much the paperback was, and I couldn't find it.
It might just be her newer ones. Because she's also working on getting audiobooks for all of hers. She currently only has 5 audiobooks, and it's Brutal Birthright. So she's working on those right now. So she's really just kind of blown up recently. You know, like she's really kind of blown up recently with like, I mean, some people. Well,
because of you.
Like I was seeing it on TikTok. because there's one person I follow who does lots of Mafia, and she was having Sophie Lark books. And then it came up in the Smart Women Read Romance poll, and I was like, I don't think we can read it was called The Freshman.
It was The Freshman before she relabeled it as The Heir. And I was like, the cover looks amazing. I was like, someone please pick this one.
Yeah. So so then I was like, oh, this seems interesting. And I mean, I started Brutal Prince and I was done. I love them.
The paperback's on sale for $13, so that's why I bought it.
Nice.
I'm gonna read it next. I didn't get to this one, but
yeah, I love it so much. That is funny that's not available. Well, we'll have to tell her when we talk to her that she needs those to be available.
Did she just start publishing all of them recently? Like she did rapid releases for them, or?
No, they've been publishing since 2018, but she did recovers.
Okay.
Like if you look on Google, you'll notice that the Underworld series was called different things. Like the titles were called Violet and Black, and like they were colors instead of names. And then she recovered them and made them look more like her aesthetic. And then so I think they were just figuring out what worked for them, But I love that her husband is her like PR dude. It's kind of the coolest.
Their Instagram, I just started following.
He posted today.
Get a husband. You need a husband.
It was so great.
Okay. I just can't wait. I'm going to ask all the embarrassing questions because she answers a lot of that stuff like in her Facebook group. They're pretty like, they explain themselves. I love that. I mean, I love that. If your wife's writing romance novels and she looks like that wife does, you could have a healthy life.
I understand the research. I love them. They're so cute.
Oh my gosh. I had found this. Oh, I don't care. This is my channel. I was like, do I need to censor myself? No. There was this TikTok I found about someone doing, how do I explain this? I'll tell this story because it's funny. So this model, he is an adult entertainer. He's on quite a few books. He's an adult entertainer. His name is
I read
Quentin.
that Beauty and the Beast retelling with him there. And Jim was like,
Yep. His name is Quentin James. And he has something in his industry that's referred to as the Hitachi tongue. And he can make his tongue move as fast as a Hitachi wand. So it can go that fast. It's a thing. So there was this TikTok where someone had a clip of, it wasn't him, but it was a clip of this guy going like moving his tongue that fast. And the clip was like, I'm going to need a romance author to explain how that feels for me in a book. And so I sent it to Sophie on TikTok. I was like, Sophie, can you do this? And for like, can you put this in a book? And she's like, I'll get back to you on that. And I just died laughing. That probably won't actually happen. But also, if Dean happens to move his tongue like that, we'll know where it came from.
Well, thank Jenn.
No. Thank the porn star. Don't thank you. But anyway, I love it. I'm drinking. It's fine. Okay. Anyone else? What is everyone's favorite? Tiffany, you didn't say which one was your favorite.
Winter Rose Fall was
Okay.
absolutely my favorite. I love that he just wore her down with love. I'm just like, the warmth. Like she just slowly thawed out. It was inevitable. I loved that.
Yeah.
He was so charismatic and loving
No.
and affectionate. It was
You
so
all know I'm physical touch by this point. So to literally she says he desensitized her with like small grazing touches of friendship. I'm like, yeah. Of all the mob bosses and capos and leaders of the Kimura that I've ever read, Dante's probably the first one where I'm like, I legit would marry that man.
Oh my God.
I keep Ramo away from me. No, thank you. I don't want none of that. But give me a Dante. I will have him. Thank you, please. No, Ramo's hot, but keep that motherfucker away from me.
I wouldn't marry him.
Yeah.
No.
I'd enjoy him at the cage fighting, maybe look a little bit, and then go home with Dante and be safe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Stay away from me. Let's see. I started Korai Kumar Crowds. I'm loving it. Got through the first two. Yes, Twisted Pride. Be ready. It's an adventure. Brutal Prince. Right Now is my last read. Yes. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's see what other questions I had in here. So then I have this one, and this might be some of the same answers that we have just said, but I wanted to see if there was if the new to you author you loved or you found a new author during this and who it was. Not particularly just for us hosts, but for people who are watching. Like, was there someone new you tried because of one of us, or one that you found in a recommendation video that you really liked? Because maybe have a new one for Jenn to try. I would like to try something new. But how about you guys? You guys probably read books that I said, but just wondering if there's any new ones for you.
Mine was Gianna Darling, just because like that one really I can't believe I've never picked up anything by her.
The Fallen Men series.
I literally haven't. I feel like I've been I don't know, in the middle of under a rock or something. I don't know. I felt like if she writes all of her books like that, I'm gonna be obsessed and I'm just gonna have to read all of her stuff. But I do like the way
not
Maggie
all like that. I'll tell. They're
okay.
not all like that. They're good.
Okay.
They're good, but they're not all like that. So I don't want your expectations to be fair there either. Some of them are very good.
Okay, that's fair.
They're not.
Welcome to the
Right.
most famous.
Yeah, Welcome to the Dark Side. Yeah. I mean, Inked in Lies is probably my favorite story-wise, put together, locked in for me.
People love Dead Man Walking. I haven't gotten to that one yet.
I mean, that's also my favorite, but that one is chaos walking is Dead Man Walking. But Inked in Lies was so emotional.
It's that beginning, man, and Inked in Lies for me. It was just
so emotional, and the found family that's the plus of biker books to begin with, is the found family aspect. But in Inked in Lies, it's another level of just this family just taking these kids in. It's so beautiful. And then Dead Man Walking is just, if you like serial killers and sociopaths, it's wonderful, which a lot of us do. So it's perfect.
Delicious. You'll like it, Tori.
Yeah. To be fair, I've never read a book with a character named Priest that I haven't liked. I usually like him when his name is Priest. I know quite a few at this point. I usually like it. And books named Priest, apparently.
I was going to say, Pam Godwin's new one coming out.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Back.
What?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be getting the arc for that, and it's getting stuff's getting pushed back a week. So not forever, but a little bit, yeah.
A week's not bad. It's okay.
It was June has some of my most anticipated reads, and I'm just come on. But okay, let's see what else people said. Maggie Cole is the only author to me, and I've had to be yes, please. I should, be giving golden copies of these books at this point. I'm just saying.
And then it's so good.
I still have to read Danielle Laurie. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, me neither.
We're gonna start that. Yeah.
I bought them all, but I haven't read them yet.
Yeah, I haven't bought them yet. They're so. When I was done with them, I enjoyed those so much, but I didn't know if I would ever reread those. Not that I'll reread everything that I own, because I probably won't. But
I think they're pretty too. So I'll buy them.
The covers are really pretty.
All the books were new to you. Yes. Royal Flush. What?
Ooh. Okay, girl. Let me
write it down.
Go and look.
Pause while we all look up this book. Thank you. By Latrivia. Okay. I should continue Kenya Red series too. I wasn't a big fan of Dirty Kisses, but the way that it's set up, it really is a part 1, 2, and 3. And then I know the series jumps to other people too. I need to try those again. The problem was I didn't like the audiobook for Dirty Kisses, and that's how I read it. And when an audiobook puts you off, sometimes you just don't like the book as much as you would have. And that's what happened with that one. The story was fine, but I didn't like the female narrator. So it just didn't jive for me. So I just need to read them.
And that one feels like a film. It really does. It felt like I was reading, it was like a movie. So I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Serena.
So Rena, Serena. Yeah, Selena Ackroyd. I have not met this author before. No, I know who you meant. Layla James. Yes. Layla. Wow, good stuff. Sophie Larkin, JC Gessinger were new to me, and I love them so much. Yes. JT Gessinger. So good. And I haven't read the first one of the main series. I heard it's not really good. It depends. It depends on the person.
Yep.
I didn't have a problem with it because I liked that the hero was going to burn it down, but they also fought each other a long time, and that can be stressful. But heroines, I can overlook a lot in a heroine if I get a hero that does it for me. This is my thing. And the hero of that book, he does it for me. So, you know. I just had this conversation too about Luca and Arya on my personal live show. And I was like, Luca's amazing, but I wish he was with someone other than Arya.
Arya, my least favorite character.
Yes.
Ever.
She put me through trials too, Justin, more than Gianna, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
At first, I thought I disliked Gianna while I was reading the first book, and then I was like, "Oh no, I don't like Arya." Like,
I mean,
that's who I don't like.
Gianna's just rebelling against something that's horrible. Like, it's horrible. Whereas Arya's like oblivious to it. You know, it's so like totally opposite things where like, I don't know. Anyway, but that came up because I just read Sweet Temptation for the first time, which a lot of people
I didn't like that.
see, and I loved it because, it's okay, but like because I felt like Julia called him on his shit, and he also was like, I'm going to be faithful to my wife whether we get along or not. I'm not going to go fuck somebody else because I'm not getting it at home. Thank you very much, Luca. And and I liked how she just like became these kids' parents so quickly, and also that she knew what the fuck was up with Kiara and like is telling her parents like, what the fuck are you doing? I definitely cried for Kiara in the book, not for anyone else, because surprised that I'm a Kiara stan. No one is surprised. But I was literally like, someone noticed what's happening. But anyway, I'm an emotional drunk, guys. It's fine. What are we here for? I don't know. It's fine.
I did read Bound by Hatred, and I liked it, but it's been a while since I read the first two, so I definitely wish I read them closer together because it just like picks off right where the other books leave off. But I liked it because I thought there was more action than the first two. The first two were just like, I'm going to sit at home and wait for my husband. And I'm like,
Yep. That's what like we talked about that too, is like Cora Riley does very traditional women. Whereas like, I'm sorry guys, but I'm not sorry. There isn't a woman in a Sophie Lark book who sits at home. I'm sorry. I did it. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
In Maggie Cole's books, that can happen sometimes because she also keeps it more traditional, but they're also older. This is the thing. There aren't no virgins in Maggie Cole's books. There are very few virgins in Sophie Lark's books. And that to me is just a different vibe that you're going into because you're not having these super innocent girls who don't know what a dick looks like. Yeah. Which they've been kept that way. Like, that's okay. Right. But the difference to me is that, like, again, to compare these two, like, Julia, like, knew what she was getting into, and she communicated with her new husband and said, I'm unhappy with what's happening. And Arya just cried in a ball.
But that's what was so crazy about like reading all of Cora Riley's and then starting other Mafia after that is how sheltered the girls were in that series, because they really had no interest at all. Like they couldn't even cook. Like what did they do all day? They were like training to be Mafia wives, but what does that mean? Because they don't even do household things. Like it would be one thing if they like were being like homemakers or something, but they're like, I don't know how to fry an egg or whatever. And I'm like, what are you doing? Do you have no interest at all? And that's why I like Sophie Lark's, because they have interests outside of all the Mafia and mobster stuff. They have their own hopes and dreams, and they don't have to be in arranged marriages. And I like that.
Melissa, this is a bigger conversation for this, but I don't consider this cheating when the woman tells him to do it because she's terrified. And I'm not like, that you cannot like it. I don't like it, but I don't consider that cheating when the wife is like, please have sex with other people, leave me alone.
Yeah, I did want him.
Cheating to me is considered you're hiding it from someone and trying not to get caught, or you don't give a fuck what their feelings are. To me, that's not what it is, personally.
Yeah. I think it gave her peace of mind because she's literally afraid of him coming on to her, and that gave her peace of mind because she was so traumatized. And so she was like, oh, okay, he agreed, he's gonna go be with other women, so I don't have to worry about like he's, you know, been deprived for so long and he's gonna eventually come on to me. It gave her peace of mind. I was okay with it, and it was only a brief scene that was shown, and as soon as she asked, he was like, okay,
yeah,
no more people.
Yeah, if she hadn't have asked him and just hid how she was feeling about it, like, then that would be on her. But they had that open communication. She's like, I want to have sex, not today, but if we do want to have sex, you can't have sex with anyone else. And he's like, sounds good, don't need him no more. It's still not fine. Go ahead.
Nina just created such a safe space for her that she just felt open and willing to share that with him, which I think was like the point and why I loved him so much. Like the moment she showed interest, that was it.
Yeah. Luca just didn't even try, like, we're being honest, Luca just didn't even try to win his wife over. Yeah. He was going to be like all the other Mafia guys and just go fuck his mistress. And his mistress got him caught, so...
Oh my God! Someone mentioned Savio. Please take him away.
Where does our get Savio?
What book is Savio?
Savio's book is like.
It's bad.
I hate him so much. He's like, they have a.
Is that in the Kimura Chronicles?
Yes, it's book 5. I know.
Is he which character is he?
He's the second youngest brother.
Yeah.
With the tattoo.
Oh. I didn't even like the
tattoo.
I'm just being honest, like the Kimura Chronicle, like I put this in a video. It is my favorite series for the first 4 books, and then the second 2, they're like, what was she doing? They're not even the same. Like,
does the little brother get?
Yeah,
like he like drive cars. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that one? The last
Craving?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that good?
No, because it wasn't about him. It's about his heroine, and I didn't like it. But that's me saying it, Jess. No, I didn't like it. But other people kind of like it. So I'm biased. I'm like, how did these 2 older brothers who raised these boys raise such shitheads? And by that I mean Savio. Adamo's not a shithead. His book isn't about him. It's about the heroine. And surprisingly, Ramo. Like, it's not as much about Adamo. So it's weird.
I kept trying to tell Jenn, I was like, it's really the heroine's book. I just kept trying to say it like nicely.
Yeah, it's okay.
What is the Predator that everyone's talking about? Who
it's
wrote
really
that?
I haven't read it yet. That was on my TBR.
Right.
Has anybody here read it?
No. I've seen it around. I've seen a lot of books by Ryu. I can't pronounce. Yeah, Runix. I've heard things. Is that one? That one's not an RH. I'm thinking of a different one. That one's not an RH, but I don't know.
Their new book coming out looks really good.
Yes, he's the worst. He's the worst.
It is The Predator, I believe, is the author's first book. So
okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I think I could be wrong. I think.
I mean, I'm still willing to try. What some people think is crazy, I think is amazing. I still am on Team Den of Vipers. I love that book. A lot of people think it's bonkers. I liked it.
I will not read that.
But I wasn't expecting it to be more than it was. And I think that's part of it is I was like, cool, let's do it.
The funny thing about that book is that it looks very similar to These Violent Delights. And I was trying to recommend These Violent Delights to someone. And I said Den of Vipers because of the cover. And she was pissed. I was like, I'm so sorry. This is what I know. She was like, what is this?
Oh my gosh. But These Violent Delights has Mafia.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, this is
That's a cartel one. It's a cartel one.
So funny.
I want to get to that one eventually. The cover, it was done for a book box, this Violent Delights, and the cover is so beautiful. I want it. Yeah, that's funny.
Like,
so let's see what else I had here. Oh, okay, this is a fun one, and then that'll take us up to 7:45. So this is kind of this kind of goes along with like I wanted ideas for like prompts next time kind of thing. But like, what's your favorite like subtrope of the Mafia? So, you know, is it the arranged marriage? Is it a specific like where they're from? You always like it if they're Russian. Do you like, you know, what is everyone's favorite when they're reading it?
I kind of really like the pairings where one person belongs to the Mafia and the other one is just like a civilian and they kind of get roped into the craziness. I think those are fun.
So Maggie Cole, that's what you meant. Maggie.
The first couple of times.
Ruthless Creatures by J.T. Gessinger. There's some Sophie Lark's Broken Vow by Sophie Lark. Like, yes, I love it. Bodyguard Romance. That's also a good one.
Yes, cowboy. Woo! Love it. Love it. Grumpy Sunshine. Would we call When Heroes Fall Grumpy Sunshine? Is Dante Sunshine? Is he? Because I can't decide. Because I kind of feel like he is when he's with his people and he's like alone with them, just like poking. When he's just like poking, I feel like it's Grumpy Sunshine. I'm doing it.
He's Sunshine. I mean, but he gets the job done. Doesn't mean he can't be Sunshine. You know?
Yeah. He's an effective capo who also is like I can't talk about it. Justin, you haven't read this one yet. I'll stop. And all the other people watching.
It's on my list. It's just like I had so many books that I wanted to read. I had to prioritize.
I know. I understand. That's why I started the week before, because I had too many on my list.
I didn't want to get burnt out, so now I can just continue reading. But like I did the readathon, and I can go a little bit slower because I was like cramming in the books.
Okay, here we go. People are sending them in now. So when one ends, kill the other. Love an assassin one.
Yes.
Love it. My fave is the heroine tries to murder the hero. Yes, of course. I love it so much. Oh, such a good one. Give me a badass heroine. Absolutely. I wouldn't know if that's like that's just a characteristic I always want. That's not specific to that. Yep, enemies to lover. I mean, there aren't too many Mafias I feel like that aren't. There are a few. I've read a couple like childhood friends to lovers or like brother's best friend in Mafia, but it's pretty rare. It's usually in enemies. All those
I hope that poor Riley does a good
bully
friends to lovers romance for the next gen, because
I know the first three set up like I want Nevio's book so bad. Like I just want it so bad. I want to hear like Ramo, who's the craziest capo we've ever seen, have to like try to like get his son to be chill, because can you imagine a Mafia crazy prince who has like ADHD and that his dad's trying to be like, oh, he doesn't have ADHD. Sorry, I'm not diagnosing Nevio. I just mean like, that's what I imagine him being like.
I feel bad for Greta. Poor thing.
Oh my God. I
so
love her. I love her so much.
It's going to be great. Great.
One trope I do love with Mafia, I've been tending to like captor captive, because I love that shift where the heroine no longer feels like she's in captivity. It's like there's always that point where like you can walk away and they don't want to, because it's exactly where they want to be. So I've been like really enjoying that shamelessly.
Jessie is reading made a TikTok, which I love because I've said this before. And it goes along with this that Bonnie said, is that a dark Mafia romance is the same as a historical. Because it's exactly the same. Like you need to be a virgin, you need to marry the person you're talking to, but it's all ramped up because there's guns and drugs and all that stuff. And so it is no surprise that us who love historicals love Mafia, because there's no difference sometimes.
When I reread the Sinster series, like after reading Mafia, I was like, this family operates like a mafia. I'm like, they're literally taking justice into their own hands. I'm like, they're total Mafia vibes.
There's
Oh,
even
no,
a
like marrying
at the beginning of the first one. Sorry.
They're good.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
What? I hate when my comments jump all over.
Oh.
What is Cora Riley writing next?
The Kids. It's called The Sins of the Father.
Okay.
Yep. And the first one is by
What is
Something
it?
I Rise, which is called what?
The Kimura Kids or the
All of the kids.
all of them?
The kids. They're
Yeah.
gonna mix and match. Yep. Yep.
Aren't they like all related now?
No.
No.
The Kimura kids aren't related to them over there.
The born and bled kids.
Yeah. They're
And
gonna
Paired
interconnect.
them.
Some
Yeah, I
of them
went go
are.
look. Yeah, like Luca is related to Kiara, but like
Yeah.
their kids aren't. Their kids
Yeah,
aren't.
their kids aren't
Well,
together.
the first book of the Kimura, isn't he the son of the New York people?
Yeah.
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 I thought it was
Like,
the Chicago
his kids aren't
people.
Mafia.
Oh, is it the shot? I can't.
So okay. So one of the setups is like that kid who's the kid of Leona and of him.
Fabiano.
He's gonna like be with one of the Kimura daughters.
Okay.
Or she,
Oh.
So they're not related.
they're not related, but that's gonna be a friends to lover one. And then there's one where Nevio has eyes on, I think, Luca's daughter. And then one other. She's only told us 3 couples to start. So
I'm
yeah.
so excited.
Yeah. Yep. So like Nevio,
Oh God.
There's so many characters in that series.
I think. And
There
then-
is.
So, and then one of them is Dante's daughter and her bodyguard. So those are the 3 we know that
Ooh.
the couples are.
And their seeds were planted for Nevio's twin sister in the last one about
Yes,
how
and that one. I forgot. Greta and what are
Someone, Amo?
they? Yes.
Someone just commented.
Yes. I need to find them. Yes, here we go. Yep. Greta and Amo. And is it Nevio and then I can't remember. She has a list of they're up somewhere.
Yeah, she has a list where it shows you all the pairings.
Well, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited that now all of these people here have read it. Oh, see, they did it. Here we go. Yeah, Marcella and a bodyguard.
Oh,
Anna,
that's so fun.
and then Greta and Amo. So maybe Nevio's wasn't said yet. Maybe that was a fan pairing. See, that's the thing too. In her group, there's the fan pairings, and then there's the one that she's confirmed. And what Monica said are the ones I said. But I believe she said because Marcella, that is Luca's daughter, right?
Yeah.
Because Marcella and Amo are those.
Yeah.
This is why she has a map. She has a map.
I was about to say her board of characters must be like the connections, the
She
threads,
has a
who's
list
related
with
to
all
who.
of their birthdays and who their parents are. Like she shared it before, her like paper where she has like every character's birthday and then like everything, so she knows. But I don't care. I'm excited. I'm excited for all of them. It's gonna be great. Honestly, can't think of a good trope that weren't included on the. Oh well, thanks, Candace. I tried to pick my faves. I think we did a good job with it.
Jen, I saw the comment and said that Twisted Love is like corporate mafia. I was messaging Jen the whole time, like, is this a secret mafia book? I'm like, it feels mafia. I'm like, this whole
It
setup
does.
feels
That
mafia.
is mafia. I thought it was because some people are like, oh, it's a mafia.
I'm like,
book.
he has to be Ukrainian mafia. I'm like, that's what's happening.
I would bet anything that maybe the author just didn't want to fully call it that because she didn't want to like mess anything up. But why else? Like they never say what he does. That's one of the things Justin was calling.
I know.
out. They never call what he does.
It's like, what does her father do? I'm like, he's very powerful, whatever, business. And they're like rivals. I'm like, what's going on in the background?
Because otherwise it's not even technically a dark romance. The only thing that makes it dark is that like she's having those weird dreams. And then because I mean the same plot that happens in that you could just have in a regular contemporary. Like I didn't consider that dark. And like Crystal was messaging me while I was reading it. She's like, is this dark romance? I was like, I mean, if he was with the criminal group, then I would say yes. But otherwise it's not really dark. It's morality chain, but it's not technically dark. Like just because they have dirty sex a couple times doesn't make it a dark romance. Like, I don't know. Tessa Bailey has dirty sex in her books and those aren't dark romance. So it's a line. Dark romance is a made up term. The points are made up and the trigger warnings are the only thing that matters. So
It's true.
Well, did you guys read Karina Halley's vampire book?
Yes, Black Sunshine.
So she was asking on Twitter, she's like, people think it's not dark, a dark romance, but she thinks it is a dark romance.
I don't think it was.
I didn't
think it was a normal dark romance.
I don't think it was, because I saw her trigger warning or content warning in the ebook, right? And I was like, okay, that's good to know. Like, I like to know that thing. That's great. And then I got to the end and I was like, where is that dubious consent scene? I was like, wait. Did I miss something? Like, did I not read something? So I don't think it is, but I could see maybe that some people might have a problem with it.
This is where you get into some different things, okay? Because I feel like Karina Daly, whatever, you know the name I'm saying. She doesn't normally write dark romance, and so this is darker than her royal series that she does. So it's like if you have someone who picks up her book who's read the other things, she should put a trigger warning in there. You'd be like, hey, this isn't going to be like a boy next door book. This is a vampire book. And I think this is where you get into the difference between the content is dark and the mood is dark. Like those are two like different things. So like I consider that a dark paranormal, but is it the darkest paranormal I've read? No, it's kind of vanilla.
And then paranormal kind of makes it darker vibe just in general.
It just
you know,
like
a lot of like murder stuff happens in paranormal all the time. And it's just like, oh yeah, that happens. Creatures are killing people. Like it's not a big deal. It's not a big thing. So I don't consider those events to be dark because it is paranormal.
Because she's like, well, they rip someone's heart out. I was like, they do that in Vampire Diaries, and that's not a dark romance show. Like, I don't know. But Sheila's like, well, they do all these bloody things. I was like, because it's paranormal. And they're not
vampires.
Yeah. So maybe it's because they're vampires, it doesn't feel dark, because like that's expected. Like the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, I wouldn't consider a dark romance.
No.
But some people would anytime you're considering it, because there's technically like, you know, when you have vampires, there's blood sharing. There is like darker, there's killing happening, you know, it's not dark as in like there isn't people being like assaulted and raped and all those things that we would consider dark, but like that is darker than the mainstream. So this is where I mean like dark romance is a varying scale. Like there's light gray, and then you have Pam Godwin, which is the black heart. Like there's a different thing. And I think that with Karina Halley putting a warning in there, it's because the vast majority of her books aren't dark romance. So
I didn't even know about the trigger warning. She just asked on Twitter. She's like, people are saying it's not dark. I think it is. And so I was just wondering about that.
And I think that one scene that she's referring to that's, you know, possibly dubious, I too, Tori, just like read right past that and was like, wait a minute. I really had to like backtrack and go, because she does kind of have a unique way to describe how they turn. And so like I had to kind of go back and go, oh, okay, I guess was it dubious? I guess, you know, I didn't see it that way either.
And maybe she had an editor or a beta reader or whoever who is eagle-eyed and it's like, you better warn people because we don't want you to get in trouble. You know, like the way things are right now, if you're not fully, you know, and then there's people like Pam Godwin doesn't put any trigger warnings on her stuff. Yeah. She leaves it completely to her reviewers because she doesn't, you know, she can run into problems if she puts trigger warnings in things.
I was gonna say, doesn't Amazon like flag that?
Yep. So that's why it's often under like an author's note or something like that.
I noticed in a lot of books that I read recently, it's under just plain author's note in the beginning.
And to your point, Jen, I know what I'm picking up when it's Pam Godwin. I don't need, you know, I don't need an alert that she's going to take me to that dark abyss. I just know that going in. So that's probably why she's able to do that too.
Right. Yeah. She's built a brand and that's her brand, you know?
Right. She's a dark romance author. Whereas, like if Karina Halley, I mean, you'd hope that by the cover, people would get a vibe, but covers lie. And they're like, oh, I've read her royal series. What's Black Sunshine? And then they read it and they're like, ooh, you know. So she's just probably taking care of herself. So yes, Monica, I hope people would know that. But maybe you don't. Like you see the cover of Sea of Ruin and it looks like a beautiful piratey thing. And I mean, granted, now that I've read all of her books, that is one of the lightest ones. Like, I've read them all now. It is one of the lightest ones.
Tori's mouth.
Tori's like, are you what?
I mean,
I didn't think you were going to say the lightest.
It is on the lighter side. It's on the lighter side because the plot has more to do with than just the relationship stuff. and the sexual parts of it. Whereas a lot of her books, that is the point, is people with, you know, sexual issues and they're working them out with each other. It's a pretty, or, you know, you're reading her post-apocalyptic one where she's just gonna, it's a horror. It's a horror. Hey guys, it's a horror. Be warned. It's a horror.
I'm fine with you just telling me all about it and
Body horror, sexual horror, all the horrors. Grasshopper things, praying mantis creatures.
Oh, okay.
All right, it is 7:50, so we'll get started with our spinner wheel, everything, and then we'll maybe chat for a little bit after. So what's going down, everybody? I'm very excited. I'm going to pull up. I have this set to show. Here we are. I have the spinner wheel already. This is 47 people got theirs in before the time today. There are most everything will ship international, but there is 2 of the books that will only go in the US. So if, like I said in the form when you filled it out, if you win one of the books that's only for the US, I will buy you one through Amazon to send to you, and I'll spin again. But When Heroes Fall and both of the Sophie Lark books will ship international. So we're just doing our best. Shipping's expensive. So we're going to start with, made a list, sorry. We're going to start with Brutal Prince, which you will be getting your copy. This is my personal copy. You'll be getting this from Sophie Lark, and it will be signed, and she will be sending it to you. So we're going to go ahead and spin for this one.
Ooh, this is exciting. The prizes are so good.
I know. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, it's so anxious. Judith Barr.
Congrats.
Yeah.
And I have your contact info that you put in your form, so I will reach out to you afterwards. All right, so hide that one. And then our next one will be the Heir. So this is the first one in the Kingmaker series. And again, this will be signed by Sophie and sent to you. Right. Ooh. Pan Curry, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but I hope I spelled it right. All right. You will be able to get this one because Sophie said she would ship international. So yay! All right. So next up, we will do When Heroes Fall, which Jess will be sending that one out. And that one can go international as well. So let us spin for that one. That's a really good book, you guys. So I'm excited for you to get. Megan!
Oh,
I know that username.
I know.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so the next 2, these ones are the US only ones. So if an international one wins, I already said what we'll do is we'll get a spin again. But this will be for Ruthless Stranger, which is signed by Maggie Cole. And we'll have one of the bookmarks with it. So, woo! Okay. Louise, so I will be in contact with you if you're watching this, and I will send you one through Amazon. So we'll spin again. Sorry that I'm disappointing, but, you know, more people get books. This isn't a bad thing. Well, send us my books, I guess. Oh, my gosh. It's all a conspiracy. Jen's buying everyone a copy of the book. All right, there we go. Okay. write this down right. Okay. Okay, and now this one is for Broken Fighter, which this is the second one in the series, which is signed and has a bookmark. Spin this one again. Oh boy.
They were getting all the international winners.
I know. I'm like, this is great. I mean, I'm happy for you guys, so it's good. The more copies of the books I can hand out, the better. All right. Hey, Victoria. All right. All right, and then I have 2 e-gift cards for $10 for Amazon that can obviously go to anybody. So let's go ahead and spin for those. Hey! Hey! Congratulations. And one more spin. Here we go. And Soraya, or Soraya, not sure how to pronounce that, sorry. All right, there we go. That was a lot of prizes. Okay, so we will be reaching out to the winners and we'll get you your stuff sent your way. So that's awesome. But yeah, so we can talk for maybe another like 15 minutes and just chill. I'm like sweating now because I drank too much wine. So what are some other good books everybody read?
Those were such good prizes. I was like, why am I hosting? At one point, I was when Jess was like, yeah, I can do this. I was like, oh my God.
You're welcome, girl. It's gonna be good. I mean, I was just so happy. That's the thing too, is like I was so happy these authors asked and Jess reached out to Gianna, which was amazing. When Maggie Cole's PA reached out, she'd asked if I wanted to do giveaways, and I was like, you know, we have something maybe coming up. Let me get back to you. So I was really happy that they could do that, because especially when they're books that we all love so much. Like every book that we gave away, I have personally read and personally loved. So that was exciting for me. So MC series that crosses with the 5-point mobs. I wanted to find anyone that's read it. Yeah,
I've read the first 2.
I read the first one.
I read the second one. I skipped Nyx.
Oh, Jetson, did you?
Oh, Tiffany. I did not like Nyx at
Well,
all.
I remember you complaining about them in your
Tiffany
wrap-up.
listened to her best friend and didn't read Nyx, so she had a good time.
I just wanted to read in order, so even though Jenn told me that Nyx was everything she told me he would be, I still read it, and I absolutely hated him. He just was horrible for no reason. But I'm glad to say that the second book, it was nothing. It wasn't the same at all, and the hero is so much better.
So I'll straight up tell y'all, too. And I plan to continue the series. I have the box set because I've been assured that that is like a one-off thing. And I would die for this author, guys. You have no idea. If you read the 5 points up to the point that I have, I would die for this author and the things that she's doing for survivors of assault and the things that she's putting in her books. I would die for her. And then I read Nyx and I'm like,
Are you the same author? What's happening?
So just a little behind the scenes story. So Serena Ackroyd reached out to me so kindly because Jess pointed her my way. Jess, I love you so much. And she offered me Nyx. She was like, you know, I know you have the 5 points book, but would you like Nyx? And I literally like, I was like, you know, I said this in the sweetest way possible, but I said it. I was like, you know, I've read Filthy Sex and Camille is my ride or die. So I don't give a fuck about Nick. I didn't say that part, but I was like, I don't I said it to her. I was like, I don't like Nyx.
You were very diplomatic.
I did.
in your
I sent her a screenshot, and she messaged me, and she's like, you know, honey, I get that a lot, and that's totally okay. My only answer is that Camille is supposed to have Brennan, and I was like, that's fair, but Nyx should die.
Exactly. I didn't want her with Nyx. I was like, I'm so glad you got out of that relationship.
So she was like, well, how about Link? And I was like, yes, please. Link sounds great. I said it to her. I was like, I'm sorry. I love Camille so much, and I want him to die. But I really want to read her MC books because they do strongly intersect with it.
I felt like Filthy Hot had a lot of intersection, and I haven't read all of the MC, and they were mentioning characters that I'm like, I have not read their stories yet, so I don't get like the same impact when they're mentioning people from the MC. But I plan on reading it to catch up for whenever she has her books that's coming up. She's doing some more spinoffs too.
She's adding even more into the world, and I love her books, so it's not a big deal for me. It's just I paused on that after I read Nyx, and I was like, if she's going to do this with the whole series, I don't think I can handle it, but she doesn't, so we're okay.
I think she's another author that every single book's pretty much different, so if you don't like one, there's probably another one in the series that you'll like.
Go ahead, Jess.
What order should you read those in then? Should you like stagger them or read the MC first before the...
She has a list that it's like the first two MCs and then like, or Filthy, then the first two MCs.
And then it's if you want to read it in her reading order, she has a list in there for you where, because here's a little bit of tidbit too. Filthy wasn't originally called Filthy. It was a standalone, which is why sometimes you'll see Filthy listed as a prequel or like a standalone book, because it was originally called something else. And I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it had a different cover. It looked more like a contemporary romance like before. And it was like, I know, it had a different title, different thing. And then when it became clear she was going to take the Filthy brand somewhere else, she renamed that one Filthy and called them Filthy Dark, Filthy blah, 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 blah. So that one is kind of a prequel in the sense of the overall arc. It's still, you meet all those characters, but that's why that one sits before the
original one.
Yes, The Air He Breathes. Yeah.
Which
there's another book called that.
It's so weird to see it. Like,
I love the cover she has now.
Yep, the Filthy book. And she just recovered all the MC books, which is why I was like,
I was about to say.
Right, all of a sudden Jenn's like, I think I'm going to finish this. And I looked at the covers and I'm like, okay, I can see why.
Right? I'm such a hoe that I'm willing to read those books, even though because she changed the covers into something pretty. I am such a hoe. I don't care, whatever.
But it is such a full universe that, like, what she's doing with Filthy Feckers, I want to incorporate the MC books now because it's so built out. And after reading Filthy Hot and seeing like the seeds from the first one, I'm like, okay, I really want to go all in and like know every character because it's just so good. Yes,
those are nice covers.
Okay,
right?
Those are nice.
I know. So I don't know how I saw it. Well, it was when I was looking up Filthy Hot because I bought the ebook. And then it says, other books by this author. And I was like, I don't recognize that.
That was the original one.
Yeah. Which isn't bad. It's fine. But the new covers are gorgeous.
Are better.
So I was like, those ones I want to have on my shelf. So I should read these and see if I like them. Because I just will not.
And it's so sad because the cover of Nyx is so beautiful, but I don't want him.
He's a deceitful sack of shit, guys. Okay.
But speaking of
I love it.
you have to read The Fallen. It is so good. Gianna Darling series, The Fallen series. You have to read it. I was obsessed. I think I got through the series in like 3 days. It was so freaking good. I just kept going.
Yeah.
When Heroes Fall mentions The Fallen very briefly. But
yes, it does. I was like, my boy.
I was like, am I going to see this person? Because I'd like to see this person, please and thank you.
I was so excited. I was like, where are my men?
Yeah. Well, and I was like, do they mean that occupation or do you mean that person? Because those are different things. I'm trying to be vague for people who haven't read it. But, sorry. I don't have ADHD, but this reminded me. Someone who said you touch or you die you were saying it about the A. Zavarelli book. Someone was saying this.
Crow.
Yeah.
Did he touch you? I'll shoot you. That happens in that book. In Run, Posey, Run. She gets assaulted. He's like, did that person touch you? And she's like, I don't know. He didn't touch me. And he's like, he touched you. Starts to and I was like, yeah. Shoot them all. Oh, Run, Posey, Run was amazing, guys. I don't care. It is
I have that one on my Kindle.
I died for it.
That delivered.
I did not know what I was getting into with the first half of the book, and then the second half of the book happens, and I was like, I love it. Okay. This is a conversation I did not expect a romance author to have, and it was good. So, also, he's a sociopath, and so I like it.
Like a true sociopath. Like his body's rejecting feeling. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Seriously, when they have to start like, ow, it hurts. Like my feelings hurt. My
the
chest.
rubbing on the chest thing when they start feeling feelings. I love that.
Yeah, he's like,
I really love it. Like, oh, what is this?
Like,
no.
It's described like heartburn. I was like, is he okay? Like,
or like when Nino has a mental breakdown because he's having feelings. Like I love it. Like they're breaking down their emotional wall. Like I like Run, Posey, Run. I just wanted it to be longer because I wanted to know why he was like that.
Yeah.
But his isn't trauma based. I didn't see him. He just is that way. And it's like, hey, your brain will work good working for the mob. So works for the mob. He's like the accountant. I mean, he is the accountant.
And as a psychopath, that works. And I like how he talks about the difference between him and a sociopath, because he can't mimic, and he won't mimic the emotions that a sociopath will.
Right.
And I was like, this is so interesting. Like, that was good.
It's so good. It's so good. Like, I mean, y'all get recommendations from me sometimes, but I watch Katie Robert because she doesn't write like that, but she reads like that. And when she has a book where she like lists all this stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm reading it. And it's worked. Lady of Rooksgrave Manor.
Oh my gosh. I think that and Air are the only two reverse harems that I have really enjoyed recently. Like Lady of Rooksgrave, I'm like, this is I'm like, am I into monster banging? I am with this. Okay. Like,
they're not even like really monsters. Like I was saying that. They're not like, only one of them has a magic dick. They're all just regular dicks. One of them has a magic dick. He's got a hook. But they have a human form with which they fuck in, but also a magical form, if that makes sense.
And it's so romantic. It has such a heartbeat. I was like, I was not expecting this. I was crying.
Yeah, I definitely cried. I
was like, how dare they? It was so bad. So romantic. That was hot.
Yeah. Sorry. We're not even talking about Mafia anymore.
I'm sorry.
Talking about everything. Like I don't care. Obviously I don't care. But the thing too that I think that, okay, how do I say this? I don't think Mafia reverse harems actually work that well, because you have to be able to have a hierarchy of men within a harem, and Mafia men are all alpha, which is why, like I said, I like Den of Vipers. It's completely bonkers, but it works because they already have a hierarchy within themselves, and so then it works. And like the same with like the Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, like there's a clear like who's where and everything, if that makes sense. But in a Mafia, like what you love about Mafia is all the alpha men. And so you can't have all the alpha men like share a woman, because then you can't have.
It's all like the not sharing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I read Malice, that was that, and number one, they were all brothers, which was weird. There's no sharing. That one's like there's no sharing at the same time thing happening, but it just doesn't like work, because the thing you love about Mafia is like touch her and you die.
Yeah.
And so you can't do that in reverse harem because you have to share. So
how did you guys feel about Corrado? Because I know Jenn read it and Justin read it.
I want to read that so bad.
Justin has feelings. I had less feelings.
I just hurt on behalf of one of the characters, because the other one just doesn't want to confront some things about himself. And so it like hurt me. And of course it ends on a type of cliffhanger. So I was just like up in my feelings, but I really like the story. I have Alessio on my Kindle right now. Like I'm ready to read it. I'm ready for my closure.
Duet. I think that's the thing is if I hadn't been in the middle of a readathon, I would have binged those back to back. And I think it's one book. Like I think it's one book. Because
I read it back to back.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Back to back. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was just curious.
Wait,
Yeah,
is it
but I like slept on it and I wasn't as upset the next morning. I was like, okay, I'm good.
it's a menage, Tiffany, but there's no menage in the first half. So that's why it's like it hasn't happened yet. It's MM and MF in the first half.
There's
And
lots
there's,
of
like,
setup
cheating.
for the
There's
first
emotional
book.
cheating too. So I feel like if I'd read it all at once, then you wouldn't feel like it was cheating either. If you read it all, like it's confusing because it's not, but it is. It's emotionally.
It was emotional cheating. It was emotional cheating. I'm willing to forgive him though. I'm willing to forgive him. I will give him a shot.
That one was tough.
it
That
was-
was her first ever MM, also like going into the MMS type thing too. So I was nervous because I was like, I don't know how other people like who have read MM would take it. I read it like a while ago, like when it first came out, and I just remember being pissed off, but I was able to pick them up back to back, so I was okay.
The MM was hot, man. That was not where I had the problem at all.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just hard. It's hard for me in any menage when one pair is set up for a very long time and then someone gets introduced. Like I kind of like when I guess that's not true because I've read ones where it's like a couple who take someone else on, but in the context of the way it's set up in that book, it makes it feel like cheating. Whereas in other ones where I've read it, where it's like a couple who decide together that they want a third person, I'm like, yes, I love it. So,
And I think it's like extenuating circumstances because both the characters are bisexual, but one doesn't want to come out yet. And so that's what makes it hard because then the other one is like, oh, so it's okay for you to be seen with her, but like not me. And I'm just like, why you got to break my heart like that? Why you got to do that? So
Well, good for them. Come to me healed. Okay. Come to me healed and ready.
Yeah.
I'll read it. We'll see.
yeah.
He's like, I'm reading it. It's fine.
Well, and then it's a mafia. So I was like, well, maybe the problem is that he can't share that he's gay when like everyone knows. Well, he's not gay. He's bi. Everyone knows.
Everyone.
And no one's trying to cut him or kill him or anything. So then why is it a secret? You know? Anyway, that's just how I feel about it. Okay. Head over heels with Elle. What you trying to do?
Oh, that's
I mean, it's actually not that hard for me, but it is.
I can name 3.
Because it's like, I mean, Twisted Emotions, Twisted Pride, and then I don't know what I pick as the third one. Do I say
filthy hot right now for me. Maybe. Filthy rich or filthy hot.
Really? You're an emotional pick. You're picking that because you just read it. I see you. Yeah. I mean, my top, like, seriously, my top 2 are easy to pick. It's the third that's tough. And it's funny to me because I've read more complex and more lovable Mafia books at this point, but I just will never unfeel the feelings I felt in Twisted Emotions and Twisted Pride. Like, I will never forget the feeling of reading those for the first time. So there's always going to be at the top. Even though I've read better books, but those will stay there for me. So. Anyone else? You've read more than me, Tori. What do you think?
So I'm like, okay, so there's one called Enthralled. I think that's it. I have to look it up. Hang on. No, it's not that. It's a Bethany. Yeah, that's Gianna Darling. There's a Bethany Chris book that I read, and it's a duet. Obviously, she has like a thing with duets where you have to put them together. But it's the Canadian, like Toronto Mafia, and he gets with someone from Chicago, like in her world. And that duet like broke my heart, and I like cried like a baby. So it's one of those emotional things. But I will say, like, that one, Luchin by her is one of my all-time. I think that was like the first Mafia I ever read, so of course I feel very emotionally connected to it. But then like I want to put Twisted Pride and Twisted Emotions like together because it's part of the series.
I was about to say that. Twisted Emotions and Twisted Pride, they're like together. I'm not separating those because I can't put one above the other. For me, I can't do that. I can't do it. Don't make me.
Unraveled by Bethany Chris. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one has cheating and there's a lot of trigger warnings that I know a lot of people would not like, but it like made me sob like a baby.
Reaching back with these B. Sempre duet is so good. That was a heavy emotional duet though. That's the Twilight fan fiction done as Mafia, and it is good. Like it is good. It's one of the OG. What?
They're big. They're like I have them somewhere, but
they're on audio, Jess, and they are so emotional, and they're like they're epic too. They take place over a long amount of time, and they deal with like human slavery in like modern contexts, and just what is like freedom, and then with Mafia, and then with like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. It's almost not a romance though. I mean, it is. The romance is important, but it's one of those that like following romance rules, it like barely follows them because it's about so much more. But it is, sorry, I went on a side rant, but Sempre, man. I put off reading it for so long because I kept hearing Twilight fan fiction, but it's done in a way where literally the author is like, she's honoring the story and making it like good. Like she makes it so good. And it isn't done in the cheesy ways or just in the like hate to love ways you've seen before. Like it honestly is taking the metaphor of what Twilight was taking the metaphor and making it this. And oh, it's so good. But anyway, that's me being emotional. Yes, Crystal knows. See, and that's funny to me. You've read Mafia before. I mean, I know you've read Mafia before, Crystal, but that's OG. Because I think it came out like 2012. Like it really came all the way back, like right around the time of like 50 Shades and all that stuff. So
I love that. Those chunky books are worthy.
Yeah. Those chunky books, yeah. And see, Candace, that's fair. If I hadn't been listening to audio, I probably would have DNF'd. But also, like, that led J.M. Darhauer to write a bunch of other amazing Mafia books. Like, she has great Mafia books to read. I think the Monster in His Eyes, I think, is her, too. That's a great trilogy.
It's young adult. Does it start young adult?
Yeah, it's definitely new adult when new adult, like, didn't exist. Because it starts when they're in high school, but like she's not in high school because she's a slave. She's a house slave. But it was either be a house slave or die. So then she gets put in the care of another family who's in the Mafia, so they have to keep her as a slave. But the dad starts making sure she can like learn things and like, I don't know. It's hard to explain it. It's a lot of layers. I wouldn't consider it young adult. It's new adult. Like there's still steamy stuff in it, and I mean, it's good. There's a lot to say about it. That's definitely a book club read for someone sometime because it's good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't consider it YA. I think it's new adult. Anna Zare's novels, Mafia, Cartel. Probably Cartel, is my opinion. There's not too much of a difference. But I feel like Cartel, I consider the Cartel the nittier, grittier stuff, right? And Mafia is the more genteel, terrorizing. Let me tell you, the fanfic is longer. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I would have read that. Oh, the monsters. You didn't like her, Patty? Yeah, she wasn't the easiest heroine to deal with. But the hero was really good. One of the things I think, Monster in His Eyes is one of the first 18-year-olds that I've seen actually be an 18-year-old.
Yes.
I think that's a problem because we're used to reading 18-year-olds act like they're in their 20s. And so she really feels like an 18, 19-year-old who's dating someone in his mid-30s. And so sometimes he'll just be like, why are you being so stupid? But it's like, you're dating a teenager, so maybe you're the one who's being weird. Like,
and her friend balances her out in that book. I was like, girl, let him wine and dine you and keep your mouth shut. Okay, just go with it. Let him treat you nice. But
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, well, this is good. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap up this live. It's getting on to 8:30 already, and not that I'm going to bed immediately, but I have books to read because now that I'm done with Mafia, I'm going to read Witches Get Stitches. So y'all have to leave me be. So I promised myself I would finish my Mafia before I read Witches Get Stitches, but now I'm gonna. Juliet's probably not still here, but I'm going to read it, Juliet. I'm going to read it. But thank you all so much for being in this. Those of you who want a prize, we'll get to it. It will probably be tomorrow, but we will get these out to you and everything. So thank you all for competing, and we will definitely do this again, and maybe we'll do it a week-long one. I did kind of like it as a weekend because it was nice and quick, but we can go more epic next time now that we know y'all are into it. It'll be good. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Bye.